We have had numerous mystery lists in the past. Due to a recent question I have asked, I decided to put together a new one. This list covers mysteries that are hopefully not well known to most of you, but including one previously published item with updated information and ones that have something creepy about them. I hope you enjoy the list and be sure to mention other creepy mysteries in the comments. Here are the 10 creepy mysteries you haven't heard of. Number 10. Shanti Deva. In 1930, age 4 Shanti Deva from Delhi, India, told her parents that she had once lived in a place called Mutra, now known as Mathura, that she had been a mother of three who died in childbirth, and that her previous name was Latji. Because the girl continually related the story her parents investigated, it turned out there was a village called Mutra and that a woman named Latji had recently died there. They took Shanti to the village where she began to speak the local dialect and recognized her previous life, husband and children. She even gave 24 accurate statements matching confirming facts about Latji's life, an impressive feat for a 4-year-old. Number 9. Creepy Gnome. In 2008, a creepy gnome was caught on film in Argentina. Jose Alvarez, who filmed the gnome, told newspaper El Tribune that they caught the creature on film while lurking about in their hometown of General Güemes in the province of Salta, Argentina. He said we were chatting about our last fishing trip. It was 1 in the morning. I began to film a bit with my mobile phone while the others were chatting and joking. Suddenly we heard something, a weird noise as if someone was throwing stones. We looked to one side and saw that the grass was moving. To begin, we we thought it was a dog, but then we saw this gnome like figure begin to emerge. We were really afraid. Other locals ever since come forward to say they have spotted the gnome, and the town has been covered in a pall of fear ever since the first sighting. Number 8. Freddie Jackson's Ghost. The creepy photo taken in 1919 was first published in 1975 by Sir Victor Goddard, a retired RAF officer. The photo is a group portrait of Goddard's squadron, which had served in World War I, about the HMS Daedalus. An extra ghostly face appears in the photo. At the back of the airman position on the top row, fourth from the left, can clearly be seen a face of another man. It is said to be the face of Freddie Jackson, an air mechanic who had been accidentally killed by an airplane propeller 2 days earlier. His funeral has taken place on the day his photograph was snapped. Members of the squadron easily recognized the face of as Jackson's. It has been suggested that Jackson, unaware of his death, decided to show up for the group photo. In case you don't notice the ghost, look behind the head in the inside on the left of the photo. Number 7. Overtoun Bridge. The Overtoun Bridge is an arch bridge located near Milton, Dumbarton, Scotland, which was built in 1859. It has become famous for the number of unexplained instances in which dogs have apparently committed suicide by leaping off it. The incidents were first recorded around the 1950s or 1960s, when it was noticed that dogs, usually the long-nosed variety like collies, would suddenly and unexpectedly leap off the bridge and fall 50 feet to their deaths. In some cases, however, the dogs would survive recuperate, and then leap off the bridge again. What makes this tragic mystery even more mysterious is that many of the dogs that jump from Overton Bridge jump from the same site from almost the same spot between the final two parapets on the right-hand side of the bridge. Some believe that the bridge is haunted. In 1994, a man threw his baby son off the bridge, claiming that it was the Antichrist. Later, the man attempted suicide there as well. Was Overton Bridge responsible for this tragic event? Some believe that Overton Bridge is a thin place where the barrier between the world of the living and the world of the dead meet, and sometimes cross over. Number 6. James Warson. On September the 3rd, 1873, a man named James Warson had accepted a challenge to race in record time from the town of Leamington to the town of Coventry, a 20-mile trek. He had been boasting of his foot skills and then was asked to prove them. So with sporting good spirits, he set about to do just that. Two friends, Emerson Burns and Baham Wise, followed behind in a horse-drawn gig. Burns brought along his camera. Watson was never out of sight and would often turn around while running to exchange some friendly words with the two riders. Running in the middle of the road, Watson suddenly appeared to stumble and pitch forward, having time enough for only one short piercing scream. Wise later said it was the most ghastly sound either of us had ever heard. But as Watson pitched forward with the terrible cry, instead of falling to the ground he appeared to be about to have done, he completely and totally vanished in mid-fall, before ever striking the ground. The road itself told the story, and Wise took the pictures to prove it. There in the soft dirt, the Watson's footprints had led down the middle road, looked as if the runner stumbled, and there they disappeared. A search was held, and the locals scoured the area for James. The bloodhounds used in the search were strangely reluctant to approach the spot where Watson disappeared. He was never seen or heard from again. Number 5. Devil's Footprints. On the night of February 8 or 9, 1855, and one or two later nights after a light snowfall, a series of hoof-like marks appeared in the snow. These footprints, measuring 1.5 to 2.5 inches wide and 8 inches apart, continued throughout the countryside for a total of 100 miles. And although veering at various points for the greater part of the course followed straight lines. Houses, rivers, and haystacks, and other obstacles were traveled straight over, and footprints appeared on the tops of snow-covered roofs and high walls which lay in the footprints path, as well as leading up to and existing various drain pipes of as small as 4-inch diameter. There were also attendant rumors about sightings of a devil-like figure in the Devon area during the scare. Many townspeople armed themselves and attempted to track down the beast responsible without success. Recently, on the night of March 12, 2009, more strange marks corresponding to those left in 1855 were found again in Devon. These new footprints are shown above. Number 4. Felicia Felix Mentor. Felicia Felix Mentor reportedly died in 1907 after a sudden illness of the type that Haitian belief finds to be characteristic of a person marked to be made into a zombie. In 1936, a woman, either nude or in ragged clothing, depending on the source, was found wandering the streets and made her way to a farm which she claimed belonged to her father. The owners identified the woman as Felicia Felix Mentor, long thought dead, and Felix Mentor's husband also confirmed this. Due to her poor health, she was sent to a government hospital. A doctor who interviewed her described her behavior. Her occasional outbursts of laughter were devoid of emotion, and very frequently she spoke of herself in either the first or the third person without any sense of discrimination. Although she lost all sense of time and was quite indifferent to the world of things around her. Number 3. Chupas. Chupas are mysterious objects or UFOs allegedly seen by night in the eastern forests of mainly Brazil. They are described as smaller metallic-like objects that fly about the treetops, making a humming sound like a refrigerator or a transformer. Since most people in the area are poor, they often go out during the night to hunt food such as deer. To do this, they climb up in trees to wait for their prey. It is often during this period of waiting that hunters claim to spot the chupas. When seen, chupas are claimed to emit a bright white light instead of being just unidentified objects or lights. They are alleged to be lethal. In some cases, people claim to have been hunted by them. It is claimed that this often results in all kinds of pain for days, sometimes years. After their experience, it is also been claimed that people have even died from the alleged lethal beams emitted by the chupas, and that some hunters have tried to shoot at the chupas with no effect. Number 2. SS Orang Medan. In February 1948, distress calls were picked up by numerous ships near Indonesia and the Dutch fighter SS Orang Medan. The chilling message was all officers including captain are dead, lying in chart room and bridge, possibly whole crew dead. The message was followed by an indecipherable Morse code, then one final grisly message, I die. When the first rescue vessel arrived on the scene a few hours later, they tried to hail the Orang Medan, but there was no response. A boarding party was sent to the ship, and what they found was a frightening sight that was made the Orang Medan one of the strangest and scariest ghost ship stories ever of all time. All the crew and officers of the Orang Medan were dead, their eyes open, faces looking towards the sun, arms outstretched, and a look of terror on their faces. Even the ship's dog was dead, found snarling at some unseen enemy. When nearing the bodies in the boiler room, the rescue crew felt a chill, though the temperature was near 110 Fahrenheit. The decision was made to tow the ship back to port, but before they could get underway, smoke began rolling up from the hull. The rescue crew left the ship and barely had time to cut the tow before the Orang Medan exploded and sank. To this day, the exact fate of the Orang Medan and the crew remains a mystery. Number 1. Death. In September 1931, the Irving family, James, Margaret, and daughter Valerie, 13, claimed to hear persistent scratching and rustling noises behind their farmhouse wooden wall panels. At first they thought it was a rat, but then the unseen creature began making different sounds, sometimes spitting like ferrets, or growling like a dog, or dudling like a baby. The creature soon revealed an ability to speak and introduced itself as Death, a mongoose. It claimed to have been born in New Delhi, India in 1852. According to Voiré, who was the only person to see him properly, Death was the size of a small rat with yellowish fur and a large bushy tail. The Indian mongoose is in reality much larger than a rat and does not have bushy tail. Death variously claimed to be an actual clever mongoose, an earthbound spirit, and a ghost in the form of a weasel. He once said, "I am a freak, I have hands and I have feet, and if you saw me, you'd faint. You'd be petrified, mummified, turned into stone, or a pillar of salt." While Ray Irvin, who took Death under her wing, died in 2005, in an interview published late in life, she maintained that Death was not her creation. This is the end of today's video, and I hope you like the 10 creepy mysteries you haven't heard of. If you like this video and if you like to see more of this kind of video, please don't forget to click the subscribe button and like this video.